but what else can I do? Well, we're all gonna die eventually, one day. In my mind, I hopefully sooner than later, so I don't have to keep doing this. It's funny. Nothing's certain but death and taxes. Well, you're gonna have to pay taxes if you're using this as a business. Isn't that what we were just talking about yesterday? Hi, welcome. For real. Be so freaking for real. 4 and 5 of hearts.
The construction would create millions of dollars in union contracts. And the Colombo family had a man on the inside.
In the normal tarot deck, yes, there is the death card. That's what they were saying in my court hearings, because I got my daughter a little deck of tarot cards. It has the death card in it. Oh yeah? Well, her cat just died, her fish died, her... Nobody died in our family except my dad 2 days after her birthday. I didn't really get to talk to her about that. Yeah, but I need money. I have to have money to be able to get back on my feet. I can get on my feet any time I want. And then people keep saying that. Good morning. Ladybug. All we want these cards to say is that we're all gonna get lots and lots of money. As peasants. Oh, Jesus and the peasants. So rich. We don't need money. We're rich in life and nothing more.
When I was diagnosed with HIV, I didn't know who I would be. But here I am. Keep being you and ask your healthcare provider.
What I really didn't appreciate was my poems, people interpreting them not the way I wrote them. Like 11-0 has many meanings to it, but it's mostly for Aubrey Wyatt. The AW. It could also be for my nieces, my niece and my daughter, Amelia and Wednesday. Because of course, it's poetry, you can interpret it any way you want. Remember when I said go find yourself in the alphabet? You can do that with my poem. It's kind of funny that I was saying with people and their name was Mullins too. Oh, the irony. Gonna need to take these dogs out here in a minute. Big babies.
Thanks to this tourism commercial, you can imagine yourself on a trip to Texas. Just think, you could make this exact memory.
Oh, where is everybody going?
You could even post this
Any?
exact same picture. That's not how it went. This vacation is taken, so I can't believe my eyes.
Said my viewers aren't restricted, so why is there still only 6 people in here? Confuses me. So that's why, again, I was really upset when you're sitting there asking me if I want to harm myself or others when I'm writing poetry about a child, a little child who lost her life, took her own life because of harassment and bullying. So I just wanted to.
In the face of such power, the government deployed a weapon of their own. The Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act.
Trying to gain support for my GoFundMe so that I can have my financial freedom to be able to get a new place and work and get a new vehicle so I can work and move forward in my life. How are you doing today, Ladybug?
If they could prove that an organization existed in order to commit crimes, they could convict anyone involved in it.
Because I haven't been anywhere long enough to be able to apply for jobs or do anything. Really. Just keep getting passed around from one place to the other.
October 14th, 1984. Authorities show up to Carmine Persico's home and up
Do you have a question for me or for the class?
with an indictment claiming that Persico was head of the Colombo family. But the Don was nowhere to be found. Persico had been tipped off by a New
What's the 7 represent?
Post journalist, Jerry Capici.
I learned that the Colombo crime family was going to be indicted as one specific entity. I ended up writing a story about the fact that the Colombo crime family, including Colombo and Persico, was going to be charged as part
You can't hear me, right?
The feds were
Well, let's hope so.
bringing in the fugitive and took a novel step. On January 31st, 1985, Carmine Persico Jr. became the first mob boss ever to make the FBI's 10 most wanted list. 16 days later, Persico was found, hiding out at the Long Island home of a cousin. Persico faced serious trouble for his role in the Colombo crime family.
It's for the 7th month of the year.
Warming up. On July 1st, 1985, they announced they were putting the heads of all 5 families on trial.
You see that? How those all just came out? The 99,
Along with bosses Paul
the
Capone
77.
of the Gambino family,
All red.
Tony Salerno of the Genovese family, Tony
You reading
Castro
those
of
cards?
the Lucchese family, and Philip Rusty Rastelli of the Bonanno family.
Yeah, well, I'm talking pretty quiet. Can you hear me now better if I'm speaking in my normal voice over the TV?
New York Mafia was dragged out of the shadows and into the harsh media spotlight.
Oh, there's the 6 of hearts.
Watching it on television, I started to see all these guys that I used to see on the street. It kind of blew me away because
Yeah, it's just background noise.
all 5 families.
I'd play music, but then you really can't hear me.
Trial began in September 1986, and Carmine Persico had a surprise for the court. He was going
I guess maybe I could change it to... I don't know if there's a music channel.
Want to hear this talk? But I want to hear much of you don't.
I don't like listening to all of this true crime shit anyways.
France.
France had clearly been living
If we can listen to the medical examiner. Dr. G, I've never watched this before. I might have seen it before, but I never really watched it. She has her own show now, because I feel like she used to be in all of the like Datelines, and she's one of the medical examiners that they interview. Like I've seen her in other true crime shows. I've probably seen every, or seen/heard every episode of Forensic Files though. And if you watch that show, most of those murderers or serial killers were from Michigan. Make that make sense.
Bladesmith, this is the strength test. I'll be testing the strength and durability of your blades on these cow bones. Walter, ready?
We're almost out.
Glory test.
Cards. What's the next one that's gonna come out? Can you guess? Anybody want to guess?
There's no good reason it shouldn't be well.
No, nobody wants to guess. It was the Queen of Clubs. No, I'm getting dropped off downtown Ann Arbor. I guess they just opened up a warming center where I would have a place to sleep and place to store my stuff, but I can't be there from like 8 until 5. So that's my plans for today. I'm gonna go be homeless on the streets of Ann Arbor. Now, that's the next step in this journey apparently for me.
After falling off the moving train. Dr. G has since discovered that Victor died of pneumonia he contracted while on a ventilator.
When I rather be working, being earning money, doing something else, crocheting, doing anything else.
Because to her, whatever caused Victor to be in the hospital in the first place, an accident, an assault, or a natural disease, is what...
If you go to my GoFundMe and read my GoFundMe, since about October of 2021, I haven't been back in my house. The only time I went back into my house was in January of 2022, and then my children's father took out a PPO against me, and the Ypsilanti police evicted me from my home in Michigan, in the winter in Michigan, which is illegal. It's a lot of illegal bullshit that has kept me and made me homeless. I was living in my car and able to work when my car was running, but now my car is not running anymore since July. And some of the people that I was staying with helped me do ship shopping, do some orders so I could have my own money, but not enough to be able to save any money or do anything. And then they kicked me out. Yeah, that was cool. I bought them a shower curtain. I helped give the dog a bath. I cleaned the house. I did all sorts of stuff. Spent $200 on my EBT and groceries for us. And then I go to get coffee and come back and all of my stuff's outside. And I had to, again, call the police to get my personal property. They still had my coat. And I don't know if it was them specifically that stole my hoodie, but they stole one of my clothing, my hoodie, so yeah. It's a lot of wasted time, wasted money.
Need to dissect the heart and examine it up close.
When you have a heart attack, it changes from just pallor or paleness, from lack of blood to then a hemorrhage.
Yeah, future goals. Trying to reach 8,000 AK so that I can go get a new vehicle.
His is at the stage where it's really
Keep sharing, reposting.
muscle is just as soft as can be.
Based on her examination of the
Share with your friends, your family, your coworkers. I would greatly appreciate it.
earlier, around the time Victor
There's
was
got to be at
found on
least
the train,
8,000 people out
before
here
he was admitted to
in the world.
hospital. But she can't narrow the time frame any further.
It's 8 billion, so
And that means that there is one question that she'll never be able to answer.
Did he pass out from the heart attack and fall?
well, my GoFundMe. Thank you for sharing the live, but please try to share my GoFundMe.
Accidentally falling off the train. Now, when you have stress, your blood pressure goes up and
For some reason, it didn't want to create the link properly, but you just copy it into your web browser and it'll take you right to it.
within seconds or even within hours at this point. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? I cannot tell from just looking at that heart.
The chicken.
By the end of the autopsy, Dr. G is certain that Victor Gust had a major heart attack, which then caused
Is
him to
Big
be
Lead
unable
still on here?
and contract pneumonia. But she'll never
He
know
wasn't
what
so big
triggered it.
anymore because he ended up getting gastric bypass and losing a bunch of weight.
That you don't know.
Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
Get an answer on this.
He's a medical examiner slash, he's a,
Presents the scenario that seems most
I don't know,
likely.
is he considered a medical examiner?
Not the only possibility. 76-year-old Victor Gust is on a train bound for Phoenix, Arizona.
Yes, it could. If I was working consistently enough,
During the second day of his journey.
He's irritating people on
I would get another job dental assisting. I would find a place to live
people are trying to get irritated.
first
To Dr. G, this might be the first sign
so I can have my own privacy.
heart attack.
Lack of oxygen going to his brain because of the heart
No,
attack.
it's not called that.
It could cause him to act funny when the heart does not pump.
If you just copy the link
Not completely in his right mind, perhaps Victor opens
in
the
the
door.
comments or in the little description of the video and paste it into your web browser, it should take you right to it. Or if you highlight it and then right click, I think it says go to or something like that.
He collapses and
I tried it yesterday because I was
His head strikes the ground and a small hematoma begins
curious
to form.
myself why it wasn't creating a link,
As the train
even though it
crashes
said
over
link
the tracks,
copied, link.
Victor's heart attack puts him into a state of unconsciousness that he will never return from. He's hospitalized, placed on a ventilator, and as a result,
Because I was staying with my brother after I got out of jail. I was in jail from March till the middle of May of this year. And then I was at my brother's for 2 months. My car needed repairs. My car was sitting. So it was in the middle of summer. My car was overheating. My coolant was leaking. So I had to spend extra money to be able to keep coolant in my vehicle. And my oil was still leaking. So I had to pay extra money to keep my car from overheating. So I wasn't doing as many orders. Plus, I was staying at my brother's house, and my family and everybody, nobody was still talking to me. It was really depressing that none of them had a plan for me and were doing anything or did anything that they were supposed to be doing. My mom said she was going to do my taxes for me. So that would have been enough money for me to be able to go find my own place. Didn't happen.
The fact that we may never know what happened to him really bothers me.
During 2022 and 2023, I was doing ship shopping. I was homeless, living in my car as of January of 2022. Then I was staying with my sister. Then my sister told me that every time I called the police to get my personal property from my home, the police were calling mental health services on me and that they were going to come back and take me away to a mental hospital, which I didn't find very funny or very cute. It was really upsetting to me, so I left again. And that's when I really became homeless, living in my car. It was in about August of 2022. Yeah. And I got away out of the state, as far away from all of those people. You didn't have to tell me to not freeze to death in my vehicle. If I have a vehicle, I made the choice to go back to California where my meds were available and the weather was sustainable enough to not freeze to death in my car. I wasn't going to keep sitting around here in Michigan waiting for anybody to help me, especially when I had multiple interactions with the police and they kept saying, oh, Ipsy doesn't want you, blah, blah, blah. Basically chasing me away and out of the state. And again, I was working. I was able to work while I was homeless living in my car.
Find a location near you and take care. Gotta be a fun time.
Build up and drill down. On the channel designed for you.
When did I say that wasn't the choices that I made explaining the story? You asked a question and I'm answering you. Everybody else's fault but your own. Well, the people that were supposed to be helping me didn't help me, so how is that my fault? Again, did I take out custody orders against myself? Nope. Did I legally evict myself or anybody from their home in the winter of Michigan? Nope. My family have multiple homes. I didn't do any of that stuff. So facts are facts. Yeah, it's really sad. It's really sad that they let money change them like that.
As chief medical examiner of the District 9 morgue in Florida, Dr. Dan Garibaldi's job is to open and examine...
Because that's the only thing I can think that my family would be this weird and act this way towards me.
The decedent is an organ donor.
Somebody's already peeked in, but that's
And try to accuse me of doing something wrong.
Today, an organ
Had to be over money.
wants to remove the liver of a local 26-year-old woman if Dr. G approves.
Which is extremely selfish and upsetting for me to lose all of my family over money. Yeah, but my family is. We were very close. There was nothing wrong.
we can work around it. These are
Just all of a sudden they take me to a mental hospital over cannabis. When they all use cannabis, like the hypocrisy
Ultimately, she
alone.
procedure to move forward.
So they went ahead and procured the liver, transplanted that, and then we got the body.
Yep, that's what I was doing. That's what I was planning. I wouldn't have quit my job, my part-time job that I was still able to pay all of my bills, my 9 to 5. Who quits a 9 to 5 part-time job when they're able to pay all of their bills? A 9 to 5 with a 3-day weekend. Why would somebody quit that job? Why? Why did I quit my job? It's in the email. I should screenshot my emails to my doctor just to prove with the dates, because they have dates and timestamps of exactly when I sent those emails.
Her husband Aaron springs into action.
It's October 11th, 2021. So do your text messages. Your text messages have dates and timestamps of when you sent them. You have records of phone calls. My bank account has dates and times of when I got paid and when I spent money and where I spent money. Yeah, I know. We all have to work. That's why I was extremely upset that my children's father got 4 weeks off for paternal leave when I didn't get 4 weeks paid. He got to take 12 weeks FMLA. He got paid short-term disability to sit at home and take care of the children. He didn't have to continue to work his 40 to 60 hour a week schedule while having to manage children, childcare, meals, bath time, everything, all by himself. No, he never did that. He never did that during the entire duration of their relationship. For any extended period of time, and he didn't do it. And then he didn't have to work. He didn't have to think about working. He got to take that time off and sit at home. Why I quit my job? Yeah, I needed to work on my mental health. I needed to... In the email? Are you talking about the email that I sent my doctor? That me and my children's father's relationship was going to be separating into a co-parenting relationship only. I would need to sell my house. I didn't even know if I wanted to continue to live in Michigan. Again, these are all choices that I got to make for myself in my life. But I needed to communicate. We needed to communicate and work out a plan together for the children. Yeah, that is for my mental health. If you don't want to be in a relationship with somebody anymore, is that for your... What is that? Is that not for your mental health? Get out of here. Everything is for your mental health. Working, everything you do is for your mental health. And I had mental health disorder. I have a mental health disorder because I wanted to separate from my children's father. I wanted him to be able to get his equity out of the house, and knowing he was going to be set up and have money to go find another place to live. Oh, I'm just such a terrible person. I was just crazy. How dare I? How dare I be so sure that everything was going to be fine because we weren't going to have to struggle for money. We both were going to be able to go and find a new place to live. No worries. All we had to do was sell our house and work out a custody agreement. And that I had a job, a second job, that I could make my own schedule and still be able to pay my bills until I was settled. Yeah, just... Oh, it's for my mental health. Yeah, that is for my mental health. You don't get another job until you don't quit your job until you have another job. I had 2 jobs. And why did I even get to start ship shopping in the first place? Because I was only working part-time. I needed a second job. Extra income would have been really helpful. But I never got a chance to do that because COVID happened. I had a baby that I was breastfeeding that took a lot of my time, and then he started working in this job and COVID happened where I wasn't able to go and do a couple orders where he got out of work at 5 and I had the day off or anything, where he got out of work at 5 and was able to take care of the kids and do all the nighttime bedtime routine where I was able to leave and go do some orders. He never made time for me to be able to do that either. That's the other thing. Hang on, I'm gonna pause the live for a minute. And then who are you all to judge me on how I make my money? I could have been a photographer. I could have done a whole lot of things. Do you have any other questions for me that I have to repeat this story again? Yeah. Just like Brian Laundrie was a complete narcissist. Did you see in the videos everybody on there psychoanalyzing the relationship? Oh, but I'm crazy for solving a murder case. I was reading this book when I was in the last mental hospital. It was about airplanes getting blown up by Russian missiles. It was like a whole government like spy / murder mystery where these planes got blown up by these Russian missiles, whatever. And of course, when something like that happens, people want to know why, if it's a threat, because it happened in America, of course. And I didn't get to finish reading the book. But anyways, there was a part where they were talking about like the interviews, like going through the TV interviews and the interviewing psychiatrists and psychologists on why somebody would do that, why somebody would bomb our plane, like, or, take down these planes or whatever. And what did the psychiatrist say? Well, I don't have enough history. I would have to know their history and why something we don't have enough evidence. We'd have to interview them and know their full history to be able to see why they made the decision. Because they're a narcissist. You can't just judge people like that and say, oh, you're crazy, you have a mental illness. Why I made all the decisions I made. Why would he make the decision to take my children away from me? I've said it over and over again because he knew that would hurt me. He knew that would hurt me. That's why he did it. There's no other reason to do that. There was no other reason to do that because I no longer wanted to be in a relationship with him. Hurt people hurt people. He was already threatening suicide, trying to trap me in the relationship, financially abusing me, lying to me. I hadn't seen his Facebook posts or anything when he was on his phone all day, on social media all day long, on the Ypsilanti area discussion, on our neighborhood page, on Facebook all day long. But then all of a sudden, I didn't see any of his Facebook posts. He wasn't tagging me or girls, taking pictures, or doing any of the stuff that he used to do. Oh, I'm just delusional. And then he works in IT. He literally can build computers. And I'm delusional. If he was going to lie to me, he was going to lie to me. There's no hiding. What?
Quickly, she digs deeper. And it isn't long before her scalpel hits the jackpot.
Isn't this mirror cool? This is where I was staying at my brother's in the basement with the mice. Couldn't stay there. I was with my family member who wouldn't kick me out, but I couldn't stay there. But this mirror is really cool, isn't it? It's like a keyhole.
It's an alarmingly common condition that strikes at least 650,000 Americans a year, most of whom are elderly or immobilized after surgery. Typically, the clots originate in the legs or pelvis.
I was like, I really want this mirror. I thought it was like a cabinet at first, for some reason.
That are in charge of clotting in the blood, the platelets start packing on each other and accumulating, and eventually they form a large, soft, gooey mass.
Then, when it breaks loose,
I found this bat laying on the ground when I walked to the store to get coffee.
in the lungs.
That looks funny too. It looks like a little robot. Look at his eyes. The bat was flying the bat around. It was sparkly red.
Oxygen can cause shortness of breath, anxiety, and chest pain. That is, if the patient has any symptoms at all.
Most of emboli can be asymptomatic, and not all of them are necessarily very evident even in the tests
This
that we
movie.
do.
This explains why doctors were unaware of Jesse's emboli.
That was a pretty funny movie.
They're just not gonna see them.
But in autopsy, Dr. G is able to see dozens with her naked eye, peppered throughout the lungs.
So if you get enough of these, or if you get big enough ones, it causes you
That's weird.
to collapse from lack of
This-
oxygen.
This is
So
ISIS.
everything really fits with her.
When I was staying with the people who stole my stuff, they had the dog covered in fleas.
Causes of the seizure, including a
I
drug
kept
overdose.
picturing all the birds coming over because the birds would go around the cage and like eat the fleas. I was picturing, I was like, why won't those poor birds just eat the fleas off of the dog? She probably would have let them. She probably would have rolled over like this and just let the birds
Dr. G now has
pick off all the
definite
fleas
cause
off of her.
But the discovery raises a new, baffling question.
I think this is the puzzle that's missing is why this young woman would have thromboembolism.
Because it was terrible.
Unlike the classic
And what am I
victim,
supposed to do while I'm
Jessie
staying
was an
there?
active young woman.
They're just smoking and smoking.
Attached to the lungs, Dr. G can tell they developed before her fatal collapse.
But not caring about the poor dog that was being eaten alive.
Being just in the hospital. So we really don't have anything.
That they were just breeding.
To fully explain her untimely death, Dr. G must leave no stone unturned.
She was so pretty. She had one blue eye and one brown eye. I'm terrible artist. She had short legs though. That's why her paws look like that. She was short little legs. She was short and stout.
That we know of.
When Dr. G, medical examiner, continues.
When you want something, you pursue it. And with the Delilah, pursuit for your favorite is just the same. It's time you found a proven choice to help restore what's yours. Absolura is the first
So yeah, talking about my life choices, I didn't understand why they couldn't had plenty of money. And then I don't want to hear nothing about gas when they're just sitting in the driveway with a car running. Don't talk to me. Don't tell me you need gas when you're literally just wasting gas. Turn the car off. And then you're gonna ask me for money for gas money? When you're just driving around wasting gas money?
repigmentation is possible. Ask your dermatologist today about starting or refilling Absolura. Pursue it. Hurry up, I'm dying.
It's the infinity card.
When these experts drop the hammer. Stunning properties are just part of the foreplay.
All about coming together.
On a channel designed for you. Home refresh. Very nice. Watch free.
Anybody else have a question?
Plus. Another physical autopsy comes to a close. 3 days ago, Jessie Davis seized and collapsed in front of her husband. Dr. G discovered deadly clots in her lungs, but why this young woman fell victim remains inexplicable.
Why would a 26-year-old have
So please, if you'd like to cash at me so I can go get some yarn.
Look for the answers.
I still have like
One.
I earned like $10 at Meijer for I had to sign up for a new account because I couldn't
Opens Jessie's
I can't get into my email to sign into my original Meijer account.
weighing each against
So I got like 10,000 points, which was enough for $10 at Meijer, but that won't last me very long. That won't get me a whole lot of yarn. Yarn's more expensive at Meijer, and they don't have as big of a selection there. It's not as cheap as at Walmart.
Dr. G also wonders if
Hello, Priscilla.
but as a foster
So I'll have something to do while I'm out on the streets all day staying at this center
she's left with only one option. Go
until
back
I can get a
to
job
the man who
while I'm
Jessie
busy
better than
applying.
anyone.
We may not have all of her history. Maybe we'll come up
So then I can
with
still
a
crochet and send you
husband, why she
things for
did
your
that.
donations.
He's multiple pulmonary thromboembolism.
I was thinking about I like to make coasters.
At first, it's appearing as if Aaron has no
For the
real
holidays,
chance to offer.
I've done different
But then
ones
he reveals
throughout the
two
year. I
seemingly
think
trivial
2021 was the last
facts
time I
with
made
enormous
coasters for my friends and family.
Recently started
Mostly
working
just my
with
family.
and she smoked.
Christmas ornaments / coasters.
For Dr.
You
G,
could hang them on your
this
tree
new
or use them
information
as
breaks the
drink
case
coasters.
wide open.
I did snowflakes and snowmen and Christmas trees. I did baubles in 2021.
Normally, the human body maintains a delicate balance between chemicals that promote clotting to heal wounds and chemicals that prevent thrombosis or unwanted clots.
Yeah, you missed a lot, Priscilla. I've been talking about this all morning.
And it has a way to regulate this internally.
But in less than 1% of women, for reasons yet unclear,
I'm trying to get rid of
hormones in oral
my crocheted
contraceptives
items that I have in my
upset
bag
chemical interaction.
and be happy to send them to you for
Smoking makes the
donations.
problem worse by constricting blood vessels and causing easy blockage.
If you're on oral contraceptives,
Chelsea, who was in here before, purchased one of my hats
In Jessie's case,
a couple months
the
ago.
odds may have been stacked against her if she was genetically prone to clots and never knew it.
Because when I was able to get all of my stuff back, it had all my yarn in it. So I was able to, I had yarn, I had something to do.
And in fact, probably about 23% of women who get
Nobody's doing well financially. Who, again, who, working paycheck to paycheck, literally. I was only working part-time.
Unfortunately,
It was
there's no
just
way
enough
for
to pay my
doctors
bills.
to prove that the
Wasn't
pill
enough to
directly
be
caused the blood clots.
doing anything
We don't
else.
usually test for these hereditary thrombotic diseases, and there's nothing I can do to somehow correlate.
Yes, I have my Hattie Dayreen Facebook page. This picture, this terrible drawing of the dog, I gotta change it.
Pulmonary emboli, the oral contraceptives, the cigarettes, and
Yep.
the obscure family history. Now with the
What did I say? Something about getting caught. We already learned this from the forensic shows, all of the crime shows. You better not. That's why they always offer you the cigarettes in the interrogation room so they can get your DNA. Would you like a soda? Would you like a cigarette?
Jessie's life is in grave danger, but it's not from her cocaine addiction or her family history.
You gotta be real stupid to not think
From her new birth control pills.
that you can't be followed or found out.
Taking these pills, the increased estrogen kind of throws off that delicate balance your body has to dissolve the little blood clots that normally form in our bloodstream.
Soon, clots begin to develop all over her pelvic vessels, and some begin a precarious journey through her body.
Somebody was talking about what happens if it says the cards say you're gonna die.
Her lungs, both sides, all lobes.
Unfortunately, like most who develop clots,
And now we're watching a show about
smaller ones,
what happens when you die.
until one night when a large one finally breaks loose.
Once that blood clot breaks off, it travels very quickly, within seconds, into your heart and then into your lungs.
The embolus lodges firmly in one of her lungs.
I shouldn't have to wait though. That's the whole thing, Priscilla, is I shouldn't have to wait for some homeless shelter to help me. Wait and try. I already waited long enough. That's why I was so angry. I went and broke the window in my house because it had been almost a year, over 10 months. Back in 2022, where I was working and still paying my bills and got another job and waiting, just waiting
Comprehending her fate, Jessie dies
for them to decide that I legally need my equity out of my home. I'm owed my equity out of my home so I could move on with my life.
There's no question that quitting smoking would have helped her odds.
See? There's no evidence it would have helped.
They need to realize that,
Keep locking me up.
And her
No, it's just
genetic
making it worse.
predisposition may have come to light with a blood test. If only she'd known more about her family.
Unless you had the family history, they probably wouldn't test you for it. There's a very small fraction of people that have it. Otherwise, the pills would be very, very safe, and it shouldn't be a problem. She was just one of the unfortunate ones that developed the clots. I guess you could say it's just the luck of the draw. That some people are just unfortunate.
I have to get off of here and go get ready. Yeah, I think it's dangerous that the doctors think that they can just, you're a human experiment and that you're not dealing with the symptoms of being locked in there like an animal in a cage. And that definitely has an effect on your behavior. And that they think the only thing that's going to help you is drugs, psychiatric, antipsychotic drugs that you don't consent to put in your body.
But on the morning they are to set sail,
They treat you like an animal in a cage, like some sort of science experiment. I said multiple times, you don't know what these medications are doing to my children, to my future children. Just because I don't, am not planning on having more children doesn't mean I can't and may not in the future.
only to make
And how do you know that this, if aspirin, if something as simple as aspirin or Tylenol or whatever, they've now linked to autism
and no one
in children?
how it happened.
where's your research and studies on all of these psychiatric medications? Because I've spoken to people who have been on those psychiatric disorders. So it's a violation of my rights. If I do not want to take the medications, it's a violation of my consent over my body. They can't do that to you. That's not legal. That's illegal. So yeah, it's dangerous inside of those mental hospitals. Yeah, it's scary to think about that. That now, because of the consequences of other people's choices and actions,
15 years ago.
it could potentially ruin my future, and they're sitting there trying to tell me that they're helping me.
It's not good. I just asked him to leave, and he didn't.
So I gotta go. Please, for anybody who's still here, like, share, repost my GoFundMe. I'm gonna create another one and see if maybe the link will work, and share another one on my account today when I get off of here.
So it was a nice safe bet.
The Cash App, Venmo, PayPal are all the same in the bio. Thank you. Y'all have a good day.